The following video is brought to you through the generous support of viewers like you. If you like this content, then please consider subscribing, liking, and sharing this video. And for those who are in the position to donate, this channel thanks you. And so does this orange cat.
We're in the middle of a What the Dub, and we have breaking news. I think John Cleese has said this before, a time or three. A time or three is from CSN News. This is what we've just been talking about, is do people go up to stand-up comedians and correct them on exaggerations? I think they do. Well, John Cleese, the most funniest, wittiest, smartest human being most of the time on the planet, says woke comedy is the death of creativity. Absolutely. You can't exaggerate. You can't fill in the gaps. You can't embellish. You can't take two people who look like they're 12 and say they're 12 without some crazy Twitterati 12-year-old calling you out saying you're lying, you're lying, you're lying.
You'll be stone dead in a moment.
I don't care enough to look it up. There's a difference. It's not going to be the end of the world if I tell you something based on a comedic take.
My walk has become rather silly in recent events.
Get over it. Grow the crap up. I'm not a babysitter. Not a babysitter. Nobody pays me enough to babysit children in my chat. And I really wish that the wokier than nows would just stufoo. The fear of being cancelled by woke censors is robbing comedians of their creativity. Legendary Monty Python star and Fawlty Towers creator John Basil Fawlty Cleese says,
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
you can only create in an atmosphere of freedom, where you're not checking everything you say critically before you move on. I've been doing that lately. I do not give a flying crappity crap if I say something that offends somebody. If you call me an ist or a phobe,
Whoa, she turned me into a newt.
or whatever, if you get mad at our Reva reimagine.
You gonna get mad at me?
Yes, people get mad at Reva all the crapping time too. No,
I will find you.
no, stop. And because now you're just gonna have to add her in post. We don't care. It has so little. You have no power over me. I sound like an 80s movie because I'm from the time before. I'm 170 years old and I don't have time for children to be offended by stupid crap. It is so not important. You can only create an atmosphere of freedom, which I have. Thank you guys so much for supporting it with the donations and the channel memberships and the chatting. Just keep chatting away. It helps with it. And supporting the New Vegas channels and those endeavors. We got a lot of great content over there. Self-plug, shameless plug. You're not checking everything you say before you move on. He told Fox Digital News in an interview at FreedomFest in 2022 in Las Vegas. Oh, this was when he was at the Mirage. We were there that night and we didn't see him. We were looking around, but to be fair, we didn't really stay there too long because my foot was still kind of broken and stuff. So what you have to do is to be able, here, they got video of it. Should we look at it? Well, you can add it in post. You'll add it in post. You have to be able to do is to build without knowing where you're going because you've never been there before. That's what creativity is. You have to be allowed to build. And a lot of comedians now are sitting there and when they think of something, they say something like, can I get away with it? I don't think so.
What you have to be able to do is to build without knowing where you're going.
So got into trouble. And he said that. Oh, she said that. You see what I mean? And that's the death of creativity. Creativity is fueled by spontaneity and experimentation and then self-criticism, Cleese said, explaining that observing over how the woke speech police might react while attempting to be creative is disastrous. Like in the case of me having a dog pile of 12-year-olds mad that I said it looked like 12-year-old children were kissing each other in the Chucky Season 2 trailer.
Don't pile on the rabbit, don't pile on the rabbit.
That's what I'm being read at for today. It's hilarious. You can do the creation and then criticize it, but you can't do them at the same time. So if you're worried about offending people and constantly thinking that, you're not going to be very creative. So I think this has a disastrous effect. So I would say at the moment, this is a difficult time, particularly for young comedians. See, this is why the old people like us, like me and Rob, a boomer and a Gen Xer, he's actually a boomer. Now he's a Gen Xer. He's baby boomers are from the 60s. Oh, Lord. Where was I? Particular time with young comedians. That's why us old people are still watching Beavis and Butthead like we did in the 90s.
You've really opened up my eyes.
But even when they have the freedom to say whatever they want, comedians should always know and be respectful of their audiences.
It's as though human beings want to have some things that you absolutely mustn't do and other things that are all right.
If you go to see your granny and have tea with her, you don't start telling her sex jokes. Not that it's because it's illegal, it's just bad manners. Yes, and that is a very important point too.
You see, the moment that the critical mind comes in, you stop being creative.
So I tell the jokes to the people who actually enjoy me telling jokes, not being bratty Twitterati. We're gonna do some new players here and go back to What's the Dub. I go back to my live chat, don't you go anywhere. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button, and if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye!
You can do the creation and then criticize it, but you can't do them at the same time.
Let's get one thing quite clear. I most definitely told you.
You did not.
Yes, I did.